to our press conference with LFC Women head coach Gareth Taylor ahead of the trip to Kingsmeadow on Sunday for the WSL clash with Chelsea. We're mostly online today as usual, and we'll kick off as always with BBC Radio Merseyside, and we've got Julia Ball today. Jules?
Hiya Gareth, you okay?
Yeah, good, thanks. You?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you. First of all, just congratulations on the Manager of the Month award. It really feels, I know we spoke last time about this positive wave that's going, but when you look at sort of since the turn of the new year, you must be delighted with how it is and everything that's going on, including this as well.
Yeah, of course. I think it's nice to receive, confirmation of the hard work that we're putting in. I've always said that it's not rocket science. Of course, when we're able to open up the window and being able to recruit the players we've been able to. And look, I still believe we're a long way from where we want to get to. So there's a lot of work to be done and will continue to be done. But it's nice when you receive that. Of course, it's a team game. We're not an individual sport. And I think there's a lot of hard work behind the scenes that goes on to allow the players to go out and perform more recently the way they have done.
It's interesting as well, this comes at a time when you're going to Chelsea, because that draw with Chelsea a bit earlier on in the season felt another good turning point for you and a bit more momentum. So do you feel you're a much stronger side going into this game?
Yeah, I think we performed really well that day. We were tactically really good. The players were able to execute the game plan really well, followed the orders well, and restricted a very good team to very little. So that's a real positive for us. And we knew that we would have those type of moments where we were able to hold the line, be able to do that. And that was in a difficult time when obviously we didn't have probably players that we could bring from the sidelines to help with that consistency of our press. So hopefully now, I mean, there's no guarantees, but hopefully now we're in a better place to actually even improve on that. And I don't necessarily mean improve on the result, but certainly improve on the things we want to, which is we know when you play against Chelsea, you're going to have probably less than the ball because of their attacking impetus. One of the things that's impressed me most about our team is the way we have been without the ball. And I think you can always have a good solid starting point when you have that.
Obviously, you know where you are in the table, but Chelsea at the moment are third, but there isn't much in it around the top again, and Arsenal are just a point behind. There's a lot of pressure on Chelsea at the minute. I don't know, do you see that? I suppose for so long Chelsea have been running away with things. Will they go into this with some pressure on them, maybe a bit more than you?
Yeah, potentially, but I think when you're a team that's won as much as they've won and been so consistent, there's always a pressure. I think every game that they would have played over the last 3-4 years, there's expectation for them to deliver, and more often than not, they have done. I think that the ever-changing way that the WSL is set up is it's probably going to favour the team that's not in the Champions League. And as much as Chelsea and Arsenal have the squads, and now Man United, I think because they had a really good window, I think those three teams have the opportunity to mix the team up because of the heavy schedule and workload, and obviously City are benefiting from not being in that competition and have a decent squad. So, yeah, sooner or later, they've won 6 in a row. You know, sooner or later things were going to change and potentially would change. They're definitely not out of that race. I think that there's still a lot of football to be played, and we know the challenge in front of us is a really tough one. But again, we're in confident mood. We're not getting ahead of ourselves. We know a hell of a lot of things are going to have to go really well for us, and we're going to have to control those things for us to get something from the game. But we feel that the game is at the right moment for us. It's a really good type of game for us to really assess where we're at. And again, it goes well, great. If it doesn't go so well, I don't get too carried away. I have to look at the long term. We've not had these players in the building very long. We're still waiting on Jøsendal, which is not going to be this game that we're going to see her. But again, when you bring that player in, we're bringing her in for the long term. But of course, I think she's going to help us in the short run. And again, going back to the game against Villa at the weekend, it is really evident that when we needed to make changes to get fresh impetus onto the pitch, the likes of Bergstrom and Alice, Bergstrom and Aurelie the likes of Gemma Bonner as well, it just really helps us to maintain those levels that we want throughout games.
And just on that, how is your squad looking for this? Is it as it was?
Yeah, pretty much as it was. I mean, Soph Lundgaard had her surgery yesterday. So, you know, of course, we understand that one's going to be a long period, unfortunately, for Soph, because she worked so hard to get back. But the surgery went yesterday, and I've yet to speak to her, but I hopefully will do at some point today. And then, yeah, just Jøsendal is getting closer. She's back into bits of team training. So hopefully we can get her back with the group really quickly. But outside of that, yeah, everybody else is as they were.
Good stuff. Good luck for the game.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jules. And we'll go to, with apologies for my pronunciation, Ruth Shellen from Impetus Sport. Ruth?
Hi, hi Gareth, nice to meet you.
Hi.
Yeah, your pronunciation was very English. I'm Dutch, so that's the name. It's Roos Schelen, but I forgive you for that. Yeah, so I've seen you have been capitalizing on your chances more recently. You're in good goal scoring form. What do you think that is down to?
Well, I think we're creating more. I feel that we had moments in earlier part of the season where we were making the final third, but probably weren't creating chances. So I think everything feels slightly different now. It feels that we're making more of the play that we have rather than it kind of fizzling out. So again, that comes down to recruiting in that area of the pitch, which has helped the existing players. And of course, like I've mentioned before, that in game you're able to change things if you need to and bring in fresh legs. So I think confidence is a big part of it as well. And I think belief. And I think this is what we have to have going into these games, regardless if we play Chelsea or we play whoever. We are very respectful of every opponent we come up against, but we also have to have a confidence in our way and our play that gives us belief that we can do something within this game. And I think that's been a bit of a shift. You can feel it and you can see it a little bit with the players. And of course, I don't think this game is going to define our season, but I think it's a really good opportunity for us and is one that I'm really interested to see how it plays out.
And just on one of those signings, Martha Thomas, of course, came into Liverpool. She was, if you like, a kind of a bit in a goal-scoring drought. She, of course, scored for Spurs in her penultimate game, but hasn't really scored much in the last couple of years. And she scored 2 now for Liverpool. What do you put that down to?
Her quality. I think her quality is very good. I think goal scorers are always going to go through those types of periods. I think with Martha, there's certainly things within her game that we can help her with. She attacks crosses probably better than anyone in the WSL, particularly aerially. And of course, we've just been working on her a little bit with her positioning from crosses. So, but I think she's just such a good player, Martha, that she gives you so much, not just the goal output, the assist, but also the way she presses. She's very intelligent, and she's also really good at linking up the play, which is, you know, she's got a footballer's mentality, I feel. You know, she's a bit of that throwback kind of number 9. She doesn't mind the rough play. She's good with the intricate link up. And like I said, I don't think there's anyone in the game who's better at attacking crosses than Martha.
Thank you. And just finally from me, Chelsea, we discussed it, or you discussed it earlier, but Chelsea's form is not really up to their usual standards. What do you think are weaknesses you can exploit this weekend in Chelsea?
Well,
without giving away too much.
Yeah, I was going to say I probably wouldn't give away too much about possible areas that we'll try to exploit, but we'll certainly have a game plan that will be with the idea to try and affect the opposition as much as we can. And I'm not too sure. I mean, they lost 2 games in a row. Is this a crisis for Chelsea? Everyone's making it a crisis, but I think, look, Sonia probably made that transition into the club better than anyone by winning a treble last season. That they were excellent. I think now you can tell that there's some background changes that are going on at the club, and sometimes that can happen when there's success or not success. You know, sometimes people feel that there needs to be maybe some changes, and again, I'm not privy to those conversations, but obviously with Paul going, you have that transition, and sometimes the transition can disrupt things a little bit. But you know, you have to say that I think Sonia's got a very good pedigree of wherever she's been in winning, and you can certainly see that she's a fighter. And I think sometimes you find out more about teams and people and individuals when they're having a difficult time, and the response for them has been really good. They were good against Tottenham. The Tottenham did have chances. So yeah, I think it's probably one of those where the players are rolling their sleeves up a little bit more and going, okay, we're going to show you why we've been champions for so long.
Okay, thanks, and good luck on Sunday. Nice to
Thank
speak
you.
to you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ruth. And we'll go to Olivia Rafferty from Her Game, Her Way. Olivia?
Hi Gareth, how are you doing today?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, so you recorded the impressive 4-1 win against Aston Villa last weekend to move up the table, sort of out of that 12th place relegation zone. How does that result give the squad heading into like the tough trip going to Chelsea this weekend?
Yeah, I think psychologically it was big moving off the bottom. I think we were a little bit surprised at some of the other results, but that just shows you the competition and the levels of improvement in the WSL. So there are no games that are a given, and nor should there be. You can see that teams are strengthening. I think it was a really busy January window for all teams. So yeah, I think the confidence levels are good with us. We understand the objective which is in front of us. We know it's a tough one. We're excited about it just to kind of see where we're at, and we have to understand that there are some real key objectives that we have to hit for us to be successful in this game, because we know a team like Chelsea, even with the injury list that they have at the moment, there's still a very strong team to play against.
Yeah, and how have you coached the players, like sort of mentally approaching it for this fixture, and because like knowing the opposition's history of dominating yourselves in cup play?
Confidence and belief, just a lot of conversations around that, our expectations, and again, I won't want to give too much away, but our expectations in going to Kings Meadow is not just to turn up and make up the numbers. We want to go and make an impression, and we know the challenges that are faced by us are be really tough, because I think that to get anything in this type of fixture is you're going to have to work extremely hard, and the basics of the game will always be there. Earning the right, we always speak about this quite a lot, regardless of the team that we play. And you know, we did that against Tottenham, we did that against Brighton, we did that against Aston Villa this weekend. You know, we had a difficult opening part of the game against Chelsea in the return fixture, but we quickly settled back into our way of playing and, like I say, restricted them to very little that day. But we know the capabilities that the team has, and this is the type of game where you have to be on your mettle for every single minute of the game.
Brilliant, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Olivia. Well, we'll just finish off in the room with Joel from LiverpoolFC.com. Joel?
Hi, Gareth.
Hi, Joe.
Just a word on Mia. I think until recently she hadn't scored in the WSL, but you can see now she's playing with a lot of confidence, and she scored with 3 of the last 6 shots.
Yeah, and I saw a stat that was obviously against that on a previous 28. Yeah, I think I feel with Mia, we have a very talented young player. Unfortunately for her, due to the nature of the beginning of the season, she was having to learn on the job. I feel that since we've brought in competition, her levels have really gone up. That's not just with Mia. I've seen that with other players as well. Kerry Holland is another one. I think her level of performance now is, and outputs are very, very big. And Mia's been there for the team. I think we have good competition levels there now. So when we're going into games, we can be like really strategized on the particular type of winger that we think we need. I do feel that Mia's best position is as a number 7 out wide. And it's interesting that her goals have come from those positions. So, mind you, in saying that, she came on as a 9, didn't she, against Tottenham and scored 2. But no, I think it's just, again, a good young player. I think we've worked tremendously hard with Mia. We now have the best situation that she has to be super professional, she has to be super focused, and she really has been. I do feel that since the turn of the year, she's really knuckled down and worked at her game and is contributing to the team in any form, whether that's the last 10 minutes or the first 60. She's doing it really well. Thank you.
Thanks, Joel. Thanks, everyone. I think that completes today's press conference. I really appreciate you coming on, and enjoy your football this weekend.
Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you. Cheers.